Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a wise but humble farmer named Rafi. His small farm was his pride, though he had very little by the way of wealth. He worked the land day in and day out, and with his simple life, he found contentment in the everyday rhythm of his work. In the same kingdom, there ruled a powerful king named Aram. The king was known for his ambition, wealth, and strength. He was proud of his kingdom and often thought of himself as the wisest of all men. He had everything one could wish for, but there was a restlessness in his heart. He sought wisdom that no one could provide. No matter how many scholars, advisors, or sages he consulted, he felt unfulfilled. One day, while riding through the countryside, the king came across the farmer's land. He noticed the farmer working with his donkey, a simple creature that was essential to the farmer's life. Curious about the farmer's peace despite his modest life, the king called out, "Farmer, you live such a simple life. Yet, you seem happier than anyone I know. How do you do it? What is the secret to your contentment?" Rafi, looking up from his work, smiled and said, "Your Majesty, the secret is not a secret at all. I have learned to be content with what I have. It is the simplicity of life that brings peace." The king, intrigued but unconvinced, frowned. "I have everything: wealth, power, land, and riches. Yet, I am not happy. Tell me how I can find the peace you have." Rafi scratched his chin thoughtfully. "I believe you need to learn from the most simple of creatures. Your Majesty, observe my donkey." The king raised an eyebrow. "A donkey? You think that animal can teach me something?" Rafi nodded. "The donkey has no desire for wealth, no hunger for power. It only works, and in its work, it finds its purpose. It doesn't seek anything more than what it is given." The king scoffed but decided to play along. "Very well. I will spend a day with your donkey and learn this wisdom you speak of." The next morning, King Aram arrived at Rafi's farm, where the donkey was waiting. The king mounted the donkey, determined to show that even an animal could not live as contentedly as a human. The donkey trudged along slowly, its pace unhurried. While the king's impatience grew with every step, hours passed, and the king became frustrated. "This donkey is so slow. How can it live like this every day?" he muttered. Rafi, watching from a distance, called out, "Your Majesty, it's not about speed or ambition. It's about doing the work in front of you, without rushing. It's about appreciating each step, not just the destination." The king, now exhausted and irritated, dismounted and approached Rafi. "I see your point," he said reluctantly, "but I still don't understand. How can this humble animal's life be so fulfilling when I, with all my riches and power, feel so empty?" Rafi smiled gently. "You see, Your Majesty, it is the donkey's simplicity that gives it peace. It does not look forward to tomorrow or regret yesterday. It simply lives in the moment, doing the task at hand. That is the secret to contentment. The king who strives for everything will always be in conflict with his desires. But the one who does what is needed with humility will find joy in every moment." The king paused, realizing the truth in Rafi's words. He had spent so much time chasing after power and wealth that he had forgotten the value of appreciating the present, the simplicity of the donkey's life, its focus on the task at hand, and its contentment with what it had, opened the king's eyes. The next day, King Aram left Rafi's farm with a new understanding. He began to focus on the present moment, appreciating the simple things in life. He learned to find joy in the journey, not just in the destination. And from that day forward, the king was known for his wisdom, not because of his wealth or strength, but because he had learned the most important lesson of all: true contentment comes from living simply and appreciating what you have. Moral of the story: the pursuit of wealth and power can often leave us feeling empty. True contentment comes not from what we have, but from how we live in the present moment. By focusing on the task at hand and finding peace in simplicity, we can learn to appreciate life as it is, without the constant need for more.